Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another magnificent episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the Monarch of Mardi Gras, the Baroness of Bourbon Street. Whenever she's not co-hosting Ringside Society, she goes on crazy misadventures, such as dressing up as Big Boss Man and trying to arrest people and make them do hard time for petty crimes, or dressing up as Tiffany Stratton and giving people beauty tips that she should not be giving. Louisiana's own Kathy Knight. In the second corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money. Mary Jane or Popeye Spinach. She's the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Base, and you are not. And the last corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 4 continents down, 2 more to go. No cap, straight facts. Live from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, the worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight, a man who's been on our show on our second season, a guy that I know personally, a guy that Rob knows has met personally. I'm sure Rob has actually refereed a match. This guy, 11-year vet, been doing his thing in the game, you know, and we're glad he's still with us in pro wrestling. He's also the owner of Glizzy Gear. Everybody, welcome to the show, Hotdog Starkes. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Made me sound really old, man. Damn.
No, well. I mean, 11 years. You could have started at 15. You would be you you would be 26. 26 is not old. I mean, last time I checked, is not old. I wish I was 26 again.
I
Shoot.
mean, you weren't too far off. I mean, I started at like late 17, early 18. So got a couple more years on there. So I'm 31 now. So
Okay. You were roughly my age when I met you, because I remember when first time I met you, it was I remember it was PWS, Pro Wrestling Syndicate.
yeah.
You know, shout out to Kevin Matthews and the gang and them
Yeah.
and the Acclaimed. And you were part of Team 24/7. It was you and Jose
Yeah.
and Mario Valentino. You know, unfortunately, Mario Valentino no longer he retired. He left the game.
Yeah.
Mario, if you're seeing this, we hope you're doing well, man. But Jose is still doing his thing as one half of the mechanics. Y'all, y'all are definitely. I mean, but y'all are definitely still doing your thing. But yeah, wow, time flies. I remember when you and I were walking down the road. I think it was Metuchen,
Yep.
and you told me we just got off the train. You told me, yeah, you got to face
Arkham.
Arkham, another guy who left the game, another guy, powerhouse
Way too
too.
early. Way too early.
Yeah,
Hopefully he comes back. But I remember that day we got off the train together, and they literally had just switched my match because we were supposed to be facing the Reynolds brothers. So it was supposed to be Alex Reynolds and Cal Reynolds, and for some reason they couldn't make it, and it's very unfortunate. It would have been like my first tag team match with Jose, but they couldn't make it. So I suggested to Pat, I was like, well, Arkham's not doing anything, and since he's with them, how about we just do a 2-on-1? It'll be a squash match, and it worked out. It worked out. We got beat up so bad where Pat had to ask us, "Are we okay?" And because we crawled to the back. We literally crawled to the back, and Pat's like, are you guys okay?" And we stood up immediately, like, "Yeah, we're fine." And he was like, "That looked good." It was like, "Yeah." I just love selling at that time, but way too early that Arkham had left us. But hopefully he does come back.
yeah. I look back at those times and I remember, wow, so many people that meet, and to me, like PWS, I know they're even PWS is they're no longer in operation. But I remember like Pro Wrestling Syndicate, man, it just felt like a family. Just going there, it felt like kind of like a family meeting. You'd meet some of the fans there that you saw from the last couple of shows, and then you'd be so familiar with some of the wrestlers. Like I said, I remember you guys, Team 24/7, Arkham, and then you look at now how some have actually gone on to do bigger things like Bowens. I remember when Bowens was just starting out. Um, as a matter of fact, I met Bowens when he didn't even train yet in with when he didn't even start training yet. And I saw this guy, muscular guy. I'm like, bro, are you training to be wrestling? He's like, yeah, I start next week. I'm like, wow. And now you see him as one half of the Acclaimed
Mhm.
doing the same on AEW. So and then you got Pat Buck who's with AEW now, Kevin Matthews with AEW. It's just great seeing like how much a lot of people from there have grown. Some people still on doing the thing on the indies, like Keith Miggs. I thought he had retired, and then I saw him on Instagram. I'm like, wait, Miggs is still doing this thing? Like, I did not even know. And yeah, man, it was definitely a unique experience, man. Like I enjoyed all those times I used to go to those shows and everything. And yeah, so you know speaking of so now, man, last time we saw you, you were on our show, you were on Block Talk Radio, we were all audio and whatnot. Now we're all visual. So tell us, man, like how have things been for you since for the last like 4 days, man? Not 4 days, for the last 4 years. Like, what have you been up to? Um,
Man,
all
what
that all
have I
that
been
great
up to?
stuff.
So I was here in 2019, right?
It was 2019 or 2020. I
I was
think it was
okay. Let's
2020.
play it safe. Yeah, let's play it safe and say 2020 because 2020, that's when like the entire world shut down, and I was open to doing anything like indies. If anything was available, I was doing it, right? And that was a weird experience doing indies while COVID's hit. Let's see. I don't know. I've done a bunch of stuff, mostly wrestling. I did take a break. I took a break for like 10 months, like 2 years ago.
Mm,
I had a really bad back injury and I was gonna like just call it quits. I was like, yeah, this is I like if I ever get hurt this bad, then that's it for me. Then I got hit up from Beyond. They were like, hey, we want you on our show. And I was like, all right, I could heal up. So I healed up in time, and I main evented their show, which is really cool. And I think it's like a rinse and repeat type thing. Like I'll get hurt, or I'll just take time off because like I have injuries that are just nagging, and then like I'll just Beyond will hit me back up and like, hey, we need you for this show, and I was like, all right, I'll just start rehabbing. That was another thing I had to start doing. I did like physical rehab. It was brutal. I had hurt my shoulder really bad, and I couldn't move it. But now everything is good now. Everything is good. I did have another injury, unfortunately. I had a one of my heel was all messed up. I was training just to get back in the ring, and I hurt my heel slash my ankle, and it was like jacked up. And I had like really like I had important shows coming up, so I was like, I can't miss those shows. So I
mm.
kind of just fast tracked my rehab as much as I possibly could. I wrestled like 4 times in 2 weeks. That was really cool. Um, and finally, I had a baby. So I'm officially a father, and that's been awesome. That's been like really cool. Um, so in the whole process of it, I had like this gender reveal in mind where I wanted like my friends to face off against each other. I'm looking at a photo of them right now, which is in so you can probably
Wow, that's cool,
recognize
man.
everybody in this photo. Um, but yeah, I had Hispanic mechanics with CPA versus big business. So I had TJ Crawford, Julio Cruz, and Victor Chase. So it was Team Boys versus Team Girls, and Team Boys won. Although I was Team Girl, Team Boys won I also realized my fiance is a worker in herself. Like she, we had like a dusty finish for this gender reveal, and she got on the mic. She's like, "Restart this damn match right now." What? Like my wife, she got on the microphone and started cutting the promo. I was like, "What is happening here?" And then they restarted the match, and then the boys won, and I had this. That's a hard pill to swallow, but we might have to do a part two to that because
Yeah,
I definitely want my girl. Um, but yeah, fatherhood's been great. Still trying to juggle life, still trying to juggle wrestling, being a father, and working, trying to juggle all that in one. And I think so far so good. Like I haven't been hit with something major yet. He's still a baby. He's only 9 months old, so he's not too much of a headache, and he's not too much of a handful. He's pretty calm.
yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
I remember when you told me because I saw you in Times Square and I was like about to head up bubblegum shrimp. You know, it's funny that
Mhm.
I don't know, like I've been living in New York for so many years.
Yeah,
And I never went up there. Like I passed it by. I'm like, I wonder how the style of food is up there. It's pretty decent.
get you a
But
free appetizer, dog. Get you a free appetizer.
yeah. But I remember you too, and I was like, wow, like that's pretty. I'm very happy for you, man. That's pretty awesome, man. And then I saw you guys wrestling. It was WrestleMania week. I saw you guys at the bus station, and
Yeah.
glad to see things are going well for y'all. I wish you nothing but the best with fatherhood and everything. Hopefully, one day I get my turn comes. But it's a great thing, man. Like it's definitely a blessing, and congratulations on that. Hopefully, you get your girl next time, and and that way you got your son and your daughter. And then if they decide to get into the wrestling business, I'll be like, hey, I used to watch your pops wrestle on back in the day in New Jersey, man. Good to see y'all follow his footsteps.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. But I gotta ask you, man. So, the thing with you that I also like is you've grown into your own person. Like, I remember, like I said, you were 24/7, and you guys were like pretty much like your theme was like I guess the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
You guys were like, in the karate, the martial arts geese and everything, and you guys branched off, and Jose went on to the Hispanic mechanics. You formed your own character with, your own persona with Hotdog Starkes, and have you ever thought about outsiders having Hotdog Starkes pop up in certain places? Like we got New York Comic Con coming up. I mean, hey, we could use a hot dog Starks, appearance there, man. I mean, hey,
So the cool thing about being hot dog, right? Like I can literally go anywhere with it. Um, I popped up at Comic Con like in 2018 as hot dog, and I was like kind of amazed because people were coming up to me and they were like, "Can I take a picture with you?" I was like, "Well, I'm just wearing a cheap hot dog costume, man. Like, I didn't put any effort into this. Like, I got like my hot dog trunks and I got these Mickey Mouse gloves. And there's no real effort into that, but people were kind of amazed by it. Um, I did Black Comic Con, or I said Black Comic Con, Brooklyn, Brooklyn Comic Con. That was really
yeah,
cool.
that's black. I mean, you got a lot of black people in Brooklyn, so yeah, yeah,
Basically,
it's
right?
okay.
Like, um, I've popped up at different events just as hot dog, and I think it's it's a notable thing to do. Like, I think I'm just able to be anywhere I want, especially like this year. This year alone, like so many different hot dog events were happening in New York City where I was like, I have to capitalize on this. So the first day they brought the 65-foot hot dog into Times Square. I work in Times Square. This is perfect for me. I wore my wrestling gear or my hot dog stuff, right? And I was down there. I met up with the people, the coordinators who ran it, and they had reached out to me. They was like they wanted me to wrestle. Unfortunately, things didn't work out how I wanted to work out, but honestly, I kind of dodged a bullet. We'll get into that later if you want to. but they was like, hey, we'll highlight you when we record all these things. And uh fortunately enough, like I was able to be in like the New York Times, so I was like featured in the New York Times as Hotdog Starts with the giant hot dog. It was incredible. They also had like the sausage party. Sausage party. They had like the Amazon show. They were doing
Okay.
like a little promotion or activation for it, and I just happened to stumble upon it. And I was like, "Hey, I'm a professional hot dog." And like the coordinator, looked at me very funny. He was like, what the hell is a professional hot dog? And I had to break it down to her. It was like, hey, like I wear a hot dog costume. I wrestle as a hot dog. You can promote me as a hot dog. I've done so many different things as a hot dog. So I am a professional hot dog. And she was like, all right, well, here you go. Gave me a hot dog costume. And I was like front and center for this like sausage party thing. And this is so cool. This is so cool. Um, and I think the most recent thing I've done was I had I was a special guest for a hot dog summer 2, which is like a giant rooftop party that like it's all about hot dogs. And like I was like the special guest, and I was like so honored to be there. Because I was like I didn't even know this was a thing. But now being being in the role of a hot dog, I if there's a hot dog event anywhere, trust me, like I got my hands and paws on it.
That's pretty awesome, man. And I'm glad that you're actually taking that initiative and so on because you never know who's watching. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and plus, given where we live, New York. I mean, come on, New York has a lot of Let's keep it. New York has a lot of characters that just show up and they get popular. I mean, look at Spider Cuz. You got a guy in a Spider uniform with a backwards New York Knicks hat and wearing some Timberlands going,
Yep,
yeah, and he
yep,
got popular. You know what I'm saying? Now every time he goes somewhere, like, yo, it's Spider Cuz. And then you got the dude that dresses up like a homeless guy, but he's not really homeless, but he's not really homeless.
true.
And,
Oh, he froze.
Man, Remy, you just put a star man, bro.
Oh, there he
Remy,
goes.
oh,
Remy, you
sorry.
pulled a
Yeah,
star
it
man.
happens. Yeah, but I was saying, you're in the right place for like, New York and to, get that exposure with your character and everything, so that's awesome that you're getting those opportunities and whatnot. And I'm glad that the injuries didn't hinder you from continuing your career. I mean, you're still doing your thing, and that's pretty awesome. And plus, on top of that, you were in a video game, right? I mean, you were invited to work for a video game, right?
So the wrestling code, I'm still waiting.
You and me
And
both.
it's not a
Trust
shot
me.
at them. It's not a shot at them. It's more of like they reached out to me. Actually, no, they didn't reach out to me at all. I had to fight to get in this video game. I had to like really fight to get in this video game. So they have a video game that they plan on making sometime soon. I don't have any information on that. I just know it's not their goal right now. Like they're focused on like other things, other video games that they're working on. But like the wrestling game eventually is gonna come out. Eventually I'm gonna get paid for it. But I see my friends are getting this video game, people I know are getting this video game. I'm like, why the hell am I not in this video game? So I joined her Discord, um, and I suggested myself to be in a video game, and I made a giant impact on the community on Discord, and I had the most upvotes, and I still have the most upvotes in this Discord chat. And everybody who was in the Discord was like, "No, put hot dog in the game." So I was not originally supposed to be in this game. I'm a community pick to be in this video game. So I'm the only one who's community picked to be in this video game.
I hope they put cheeseburger in that game because trust me,
I
I
think
mean,
he's in. I think he's in.
oh, of course. So what? If I were in charge, I'd put. I mean, you got a cheeseburger. You know what I'm saying? Why not put in a hot dog? You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
I was told that Burger's in the game, and I think they're trying to get Megabyte Ronnie in the game, and they want to do some type of like season mode storyline with us in the game, something like that. I have no idea, but this is like their ideas, and I'm just like spewing them out to you guys.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome that you got that opportunity. Not a lot of people can say that they've gotten that opportunity to, work on a video game. Normally these days, I mean, unless you're like WWE or even AEW, that opportunity is going to be very rare. But that's awesome that you got to do that as well, and that you actually fought to get in. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it definitely worked out. So I just got one more question. 'Cause I know Rob and Kathy are chomping at the bit. So in regards to you do you make gear and it's
Yeah,
called Grizzly Gear.
yeah.
So tell us a bit about that, man, because I don't think we talked about that last time. I think that, or maybe that's something new. It's not new because you started 4 years ago, but I don't know if we talked about it or we missed it. But tell us a bit about Glizzy because I seen your work and I'm like, yo, this guy got some talent, man. The man making gear for everybody. Look at this, and gear looks like top notch. Like, tell
I
us a
appreciate
bit
that.
about Glizzy gear, man.
I appreciate that because I'm very like subconscious about my work, especially like when it comes to art and stuff. I've always had like talented like I've always been able to draw and whatnot. Um, I forgot how it started. I think someone had asked me to make a logo for them, and I was like, okay, I'll look into it, and I just like did it. And they were like, yeah, this is pretty good. I was like, all right, okay, cool. And I just kind of stuck with it. But I've noticed like my friends, like their gear wouldn't like be as good as I would like it to be. Like, you have visions for other people, but you don't really have vision for yourself. Like it took me years to design my own gear, but for my friends, it was easy, right? Like, oh, I can imagine you in this, and this, and this. And to actually see them getting the gear or having like, I see like the Brick City Boys, they're in AEW, and I was like, yo, they're wearing my gear. Like they're wearing the gear I designed for them. This is like awesome. So that's like a giant like accomplishment of mine. Um, I don't know. I love doing it. I have commissions I have to do now. Actually, just thinking about it. I have customers. I have repeat customers. It's a very weird thing when I sit and talk about it. Um, but it's cool, you know. The only thing I need to do is actually like trademark and copyright my my stuff because I don't. Like Lizzie Gear, like that's a tentative name that like you know I use and I ran with it, but I don't know if that's an official name or can I use that name. I was thinking about Top Dog Designs. I don't know, man, but I'm having fun being creative, and I'm honored that like these wrestlers trust me with their work. People I've never even worked with before will hit me up like, "Hey, such and such sent me to you, and I want you to design my gear." And I'm like, "That's cool." And then I go to such and such, and I'm like, "Hey, now you get a discount on your gear. So whenever you want, you get a discount." So it's really cool. I get to set my own prices. I'm my own boss. Um, the only thing that does suck is like I would get like a bunch of requests and I would have such little time to finish all of them. But I'm always communicative. I talk to everybody in terms of like processing and how I want to do things and tell them like time frames. 'Cause before I would have the work done in like less than a week, and that's how my name started getting out there. But now I'm like, okay, I could just kind of sit on this a little bit, let it soak, now get my creative juices flowing, and then now do it. And that's been working out. Everything's kind of been working out. I really haven't had a bad customer. I've had one person who has tested me and this is recent, you might see him on TV very soon. One person, and remember, you know him because he used to be in the PWS days.
Is it
um
Kev? Is it Kev?
he's no,
Oh, okay, okay.
but he is part of an illustrious family tree, an illustrious bloodline, if you will. But I had to do his gear. He tested me so hard. He was like, "Hey, I talked to my many cousins about this, and they were like, hey, you need to fix up your line work." I said, "All right, cool, man." And I was like, "This is like the first time this has ever happened." So I'm like, I'm here looking up these type of designs, these type of line work, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have like trouble with this. But you might see him very soon with the gear I designed for him. All I'm saying is that. All I'm saying.
I think I have an idea who he is. But yeah, if it was the other guy that does this, I'd be like, yeah, okay. I think he's a bit of a prankster. I don't know. He's one of my favorite wrestlers, but I don't know that guy. Oh boy. Um, yeah, man. But that's a pretty good talent that you have. That's a pretty great talent that you have, and that's a plus because now, like, if you decide, I think I'm done with wrestling, you don't have to leave the industry completely. Because I always tell people, pro wrestling, yes, wrestlers are the focal point, but there are many spokes in the wheel
Yeah.
that help. There are many spokes that help in the wheel of professional wrestling that help it turn, and that's there's people like you, people like the promoters and the referees and so on. So that's pretty awesome. That you're doing. I've seen for some reason now you got me thinking like the Acclaimed go into the ring rocking that glizzy gear and saying something like, "Yeah, you guys wrestling underwear, but meanwhile we rocking that glizzy," or something like that. Some
That'd be cool.
brand
That'd
that
be
goes with
cool.
glizzy gear. You know what I'm saying? I could see the Acclaim doing that or so. That'd be, but that's good. That's great that your designers are getting that that exposure because you never know who's watching. You might have somebody in AEW that's like, "Yo, who did your gear, bro? Yo, yo, it looks fly." Or you might see somebody go to WWE and then they might be like, "Yo, who did your gear?" They're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, this is my boy Hotdog Starkes. Yeah, he did glizzy gear." And then they're like, "Oh snap, yo, what's his contact? I gotta hit him up." You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, that person might be a main eventer. It might be on WrestleMania. Next thing you know, now you got glizzy gear, being showcased on WrestleMania. I know a girl. I'm not gonna call names, but you probably know her. She's I mean, only thing I'm gonna say is she's from Philly, you
Hmm.
know, and she's designed gear for Sheamus and Cesaro, and I think her gear that they was actually on WrestleMania. So you never, you never know.
I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. But that's great, man. Keep up the great work. We hope we wish you nothing but success. And with that being said, I'm gonna turn it over to Kathy. And Kathy, go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right, thanks for me. What's up, hot dog?
What up? What up? What up?
You how is it being on video now that we were all on audio the first time? Now you actually get to see. Well, you've seen Rob and you've seen Remy, but now you get to see me too. So there you go.
All right. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I had a bunch of stuff happening. I'm not gonna lie. Like, so I was like getting freaked out. Like, my fiance's father-in-law came, and his girl came, and then like my baby's crying in the back, and I'm like, oh my god. So it's like, okay. So behind the scenes, all this stuff was happening, but I'm glad the storm kind of weathered itself out, and now I'm here. But it is cool to see all of you guys. Is finally happy to see you. Finally first time we get to actually see you. But it's really cool experience. I feel like being on video is beneficial for all of us here. So now we can see each other's facial expression, see how we are, see what we're thinking.
Yeah, it's a lot different than just audio because we were all on our phones and everything like that. And yeah, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, but you know, you take roll with the punches. Sometimes I've had like my mom come through on video one time, and just weird stuff happens, and we're live. It's okay.
Definitely.
So, congratulations on being a father.
Thank you.
And yeah, that was one of my questions, but Remy got to it, but it's okay. Or well, you said it, so it's all good. But I did see, and congratulations on your gear making business.
Thank you.
I
Thank
did
you.
see on your Twitter page you were either are you still a student at Full Sail or is
I
that
am
over?
still okay.
Still a student?
I'm graduating in March. March 7th,
Okay.
I'm graduating. And I'll have my degrees in entertainment business. So far, so good. This month it's crazy right now because I got two classes I have to deal with. Um, but hey, that's two more classes I don't have to deal with later on. But I'm tempted, and I'm really thinking about this decision. I might stay in school for another 2.5 years just to pursue my master's degree, Because I just want to be unstoppable. Like I just, I'm already in the entertainment business. Like I've been doing wrestling 11 years, as you guys know, and I just wanted to kind of sharpen my tools a little bit more. So I wanted to get back in school. I wanted to have something behind my name on top of what I already have accomplished. And being that I wrestle, everything's hand in hand. I can assure you that I talk about wrestling in all my assignments, no matter what. I talk about wrestling, and my professors love them. Some professors even worked WrestleMania. Some have worked in NXT, and they're like, "Hey, we know such and such. We can get you in here, 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 here. Perfect." So it's definitely beneficial. But yeah, I'm happy to be a full self student.
Yeah, that's kind of why I brought it up because NXT was at Full Sail for a while, and they're a broadcasting school, and they have all of that stuff. So I was just wondering because I have a broadcasting degree, not from Full Sail, but from that's what Raging Cajuns are, UL Lafayette. So I didn't get my master's, I didn't go that far, but I have a bachelor's in communication. So I didn't really have the money to continue to go, so I had a scholarship, and
Mhm.
when that ran out, I graduated, and that's that. And I'm here doing Ringside Society. So there you go. Not many
That's
people can
good.
say they have a professional. I guess I don't know if you call it professional, but somebody with a broadcasting degree on their team that
That's
actually does
true.
a wrestling podcast. So there you go.
That's true. That's good.
So we mentioned on the other podcast when you were on the first time, you do a Stone Cold Bunner, which is a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah.
So did you watch when Stone Cold showed up at WrestleMania for his retirement match? What you thought about
Uh,
it?
yeah. So this is like last year, right? When he went against
2 years
Kevin
ago,
Owens.
maybe.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was in Dallas.
Okay,
It was
so
probably
yeah,
two
I guess
years
2 years
ago.
ago. Okay, so Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens. Did not expect Stone Cold to wrestle. Did not expect it at all. But the 6-year-old in me was screaming. Like I was like on the edge of my seat. Like, yo, I'm like, wait, what's he doing? Like he's taping up his. What is happening here? And I'm like, is he about to fight? Oh, he's doing it. So my excitement levels had like doubled at that point. And I was glued to my screen. And that was the main event. It main event at night one. And I was like so excited, so happy. So yes, I did watch it. I'm happy that he won. And I think I'm not gonna lie, he outperformed most of the people on that card. Um, at his age and coming out of retirement. It was great. Now he's not retired. He's not retired. It was not his retirement match. He never said he retired. He's open to another match, but we don't know when that's gonna happen. I definitely want to see him versus CM Punk because we were robbed of that years ago. So it might happen again. I don't know. I don't know. But if it does happen, I will be excited.
I would be too, because he had, for CM Punk's pipe bomb, he had Stone Cold shirt because I think he forgot his gear or something happened that day. So the infamous pipe bomb, he's got a Stone Cold shirt on, and they have a history, so that would be awesome. Hopefully we see it. I don't know. I see videos of Stone Cold, pumping iron, working out, which he does, I'm sure, every day, but he was pumping some serious iron, so I don't know. Maybe a possible comeback. But if that was his final match, his retirement match, Dallas would have been a good place to have it at,
Yeah,
because
that would
he's
have
a
been the perfect scenario.
full blown Texan, through and through.
Yeah.
So you another person that you kind of emulate is The Rock. You do a rock bottom called the bottom bun. We talked about
Yes.
that last time too. But you got Lexus King. What, Remy? Go ahead.
I didn't I didn't want to interrupt, but I was thinking about so how does this sound? Lexus King versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. If you know, you know.
I
I
mean,
I
yeah.
I guess. But we're looking
I
at,
mean,
like star
he doesn't
power,
have to
right?
win. He doesn't have to beat Steve, but I mean, it would
I,
be to put him like in a different kind of light, you know?
maybe for a segment, I don't know if I want to see a match. Maybe a segment where Lexus gets a Stone Cold Stunner at the end of it. Something, you know. I don't know about a match. I don't know how I feel about Lexus King versus Stone Cold. Not yet, at least, because we don't know the potential of Lexus King. He hasn't hit his potential yet, in my opinion. Sky's the limit, but he's he hasn't hit it there. He's not there yet. You know, Kevin Owens, he's there. CM Punk's already there. But Lexus King, it would give him like maybe 3-4 years, and then we'll see where he's at.
Or maybe a tag team. I mean, he and Brian Pillman were a tag team once upon a time before all the, bad blood and the feuding and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
down the road. Or he could be Stone Cold could be his manager or something. Just have him in his back pocket.
it's
But
something.
yeah, maybe. We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
So we're talking about The Rock. That was another one. You do the bottom bun that we had talked about the first time you were here, which is the Rock bottom.
Mhm.
What did you think about The Rock coming back last year and being the final boss and feuding with Cody and all of that stuff?
I have mixed emotions about The Rock coming back. I love The Rock. Don't get me wrong. Him coming back as a heel, great move. I absolutely loved it. Um, I don't know. It was okay. So what was going to my mind was that when Cody was like, "Hey, I'm not going to beat you. I'm not going to challenge you at WrestleMania. But I know somebody else who will." And then The Rock comes out, and like now we're teasing Roman versus The Rock, and like this is whole couple of weeks where we're like fans, as a fan, we're all confused. Like, what the hell are they trying to do? Are we going to have Roman versus The Rock at WrestleMania for the Undisputed Universal Championship, or like what's Cody going to do? And then we're trying to figure this out because everybody wants Cody to beat Roman at WrestleMania for the championship. So why the hell is The Rock here? But the things that they did, the segments that they had, incredible. Rock definitely pushed the limits on what he can and cannot say. Even if he couldn't say it, he said it anyway. Because he's like, I am the boss. And the whole final boss thing was dope as hell. Because I never seen The Rock as the final boss. So it was kind of different. I'm not gonna lie, like we hear Roman come out, that's final boss music. But The Rock was like, no, 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 no. I'm gonna up the ante. Now I'm the final boss. Like, if you beat him, you gotta go to me. So I was happy to see him come back. I didn't really necessarily like the tag team match between The Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth at WrestleMania. Not saying it was a bad match or anything like that. It was more of like I didn't want The Rock to pin Cody for some reason. I kind of wanted Roman to pin Cody, but if we're storytelling, it made sense for The Rock to pin Cody because I feel like we're going to see The Rock later on. Maybe we're going to see The Rock have bad blood. I don't know. And then we're going to probably eventually get Rock versus Roman. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be at WrestleMania. It could possibly be at Crown Jewel. Who knows? But we're definitely going to get those matches that we were going to see at WrestleMania 41, right? 41.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so we're definitely gonna get those matches, and I just kind of feel like with WWE, they're always not. I'm not gonna say they're ahead of the game. Sometimes they're like behind, like a whole year. Like I don't know if you guys remember when Batista won the Royal Rumble when he came back, right? Everybody wanted Roman Reigns to win, right? Roman didn't win, Batista won. And what did they do the year after that? They gave it to Roman Reigns, but they wanted Daniel Bryan to win. And it was like, now we don't like Roman. Damn, this kind of sucks. And they just kind of shitted on Roman uh, for that entire year. And then he got sick, and then he came back, and people loved him, and he went away again. Then he became who he is. But I just kind of feel like they're always like a year behind on what the fans want. But I think they was like, okay, the fans want The Rock. I mean, I'm sorry, the fans want Cody versus Roman. We don't really want the Rock right now, but eventually we'll get him. And then they just gave it to us. They gave it to us, and they figured out a way to do it where it was like it didn't insult us as fans. So I'm excited. I'm excited for all of it. I'm excited for The Rock coming back. I'm excited for him having another match. Um, I'm excited to see Rock versus Roman because that's a match I think we all wanted to see at one point. Yeah, so I'm excited for The Rock.
Yeah, what you said about it's a little, a little too late, kind of thing. WrestleMania 39, I think, would have been perfect, but The Rock had said he was approached with it, and I guess something fell through. Maybe he had a movie or something, or I think he said he wasn't ready. He wasn't physically ready at the time. So, do you think we'll get, because he still has unfinished business with Cody, so I wonder how that's going to play. Like, what match are we going to get from The Rock at this year's upcoming WrestleMania in Las Vegas?
I could only really just see Rock versus Roman. Like I could see them building that up for months, same as like how they did The Rock versus John Cena. They did that for a whole year. And that was like that was really cool. It was really incredible how they did that build up, how they had like they spaced out their segments, and I love that. So Roman's not really much on TV anyway. The Rock's barely on TV now. They can do it. They can get that done. Even if The Rock comes back at Bad Blood, we have so many months ahead of us just for WrestleMania, just to keep building that up. And who else can do it? Like who can do it better job than The Rock? Like Roman is probably up there as well. Roman probably has like maybe like less than 10 title defenses for a whole year of being champion. I think he had like 4 title defenses. I could be wrong, but it was way less. But he was able to space out those title defenses, and anytime he defended those championships, it meant something. So same here. Even though he's not champion, it means something that he's going to come back. Same thing with The Rock. Even though he's not here, when The Rock does come back, when you hear that, if you smell it, when you hear that, people are going to go insane. And it is going to happen every single time. Doesn't matter how many months and or years The Rock has gone away, he'll come back. And when you hear that if you smell, everybody's going to go crazy.
Yeah, I think they still, Cody will be tied into the bloodline, is going to still be tied into The Rock, and they'll probably start it, if not Bad Blood, they'll probably start it. There's Survivor Series coming up. There's the Rumble, if anything. We'll have something from July to April. So they might start something there. Who knows? What do you think about The Rock actually being the final boss, as in he's in the boss of TKO?
I think this is like new generation Mr. McMahon type of thing, right? Like Mr. McMahon, yes, he was a character as Mr. McMahon, who was the chairman of the board. That's his actual was his position. But then like The Rock, like being ahead of TKO, like that's that's insane. And who's gonna put butts in seats? Who's like one of the greatest promoters of all time? The Rock. I think it's an awesome move. That I mean, I'm very I can be biased about these things, but um, The Rock being on TV, I don't know if it takes away from anyone else on the roster, but if it's needed, I know The Rock will make the right moves. You know what I mean? Like he can come off as very selfish at times, um, but I think sometimes it is needed. Like, how many times have you watched wrestling and you missed it, or if you missed like SmackDown or something, and then your friends talk to you next day, yo, did you see The Rock return? Like, what? The Rock returned. So yeah, I think it's a smart move. I like the idea of him being the final boss. Um, but I don't know how much of that we're gonna see. But when we do get it, it's a gift.
He had a little bit in his matches. There was one point he of being the final boss and the actual boss. He there was a referee he threatened. He's like, if you count me out or something, he was like, I'm gonna fire you. So
That
he was using
smart.
his pull, yeah. So we're kind of seeing that already,
He said, The Rock does not play.
right?
Yeah,
He said
that was
it was
insane.
something like if he counted him out, or if he did something
Yeah.
like disqualification or something happened, and he was like,
Hmm.
I'm the boss, right? I can get you fired. Like he said something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
So he's kind of using that corporate stuff already. And then all the memes were funny too with the documentary they put for WrestleMania, where he's like he created stuff like, and it just keeps going. People making stuff up like, oh, I brought this, because of me this happened. So it just keeps, the internet's got like a mind of its own. It's pretty funny when they take stuff and they roll with it.
Yeah, I like it 100%. I like that he abuses his power.
I think we might see a lot more of that when he comes back. If he's still the final boss, if he's still a heel, he could be the boss and be a good guy. But I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna happen. He might still be heel when he returns. But it's definitely electrifying when he comes. So when he shows up, he's the
Yeah,
most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
yeah. I like what you did there. I like what you did there.
Yeah. So, talking about more moves that you have, we didn't talk about this one the last time, which I think it's hilarious because if you know independent wrestling, you have what's called the hot dog and the handshake. But your version of it is you take your little Mickey Mouse glove off and you smack your opponent. But
Yes.
if people don't know what I mean, I know what it means, but I'll let you explain. Like in the independent circuit of wrestling, there's what's called a hot dog and a handshake.
Yeah. I don't know where that term came from. Honestly, I don't. I think it just came from like just being in like this business is in wrestling where it's like you get paid a hot dog and a handshake. Like this is your pay. Like, hey Booker man, where's my envelope? And there's like, well, house was light. Here's a hot dog. Here you go. Here's a handshake, and you be on your way. Um, I've never been paid in hot dogs and or handshakes. I've been stiff pay before, but like I've got like maybe like less than I was supposed to get. But hot dog and a handshake, what a thing! And how perfect is it that I'm a hot dog, right? That I have these Mickey Mouse gloves, and yeah, my move is called the hot dog and a handshake. Before it was called the sausage slap. I didn't know what the hell to name it, but hot dog and a handshake is actually perfect. So to describe this move a little bit, I would introduce myself to my opponent. I'll extend my hand to them. They'll shake my hand, and then my glove comes off. And at this point, I'm screaming for bloody murder because they ripped my hand off. Right now, I want the fans to believe this because I got these detachable hands. I'm screaming for bloody murder. My hands ripped off. I take it back, and then I backhand them. And just another treat to the fans, the hand goes flying into the crowd and someone catches the hand. I love that. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I always warn my opponents beforehand that I'm going to smack them with the glove. The referee cannot disqualify me because I came out with it and it's just an actual glove. It's a part of me. Yeah, so I kind of defied my own rules in wrestling, and I love it. I actually love it. Um, anytime I can get that done, I'll try to get that done.
Watching you wrestle is hilarious. It's just funny, like the whole hot dog outfit and the stunner that you do, and you call it the bottom. You do the rock bottom, you do the bottom bun, and then the stone cold bunner, and just this play on names. It's all hilarious. It's totally funny. And then speaking of that, I was going through your matches and the names that it's a lot of food lately that you've been wrestling. Remy mentioned him earlier. You've tagged with Cheeseburger, but you've also wrestled him. And you said, you try to, earlier in the interview, you said that you do a lot of New York stuff or stuff involving hot dogs. Well, on the 4th of July, they have a thing called the Great American Trash, which is a play on the Great American Bash. And you actually wrestled Cheeseburger. There's no ring. It's just like, I guess, astroturf or some kind of green material. So there's no
Yeah.
ring, and you wrestle, and that was crazy. Like, there was a spot you actually fed Cheeseburger a hot dog, and Cheeseburger fed you a cheeseburger.
uh, Wrestling Cheeseburger in itself is always a treat. Um, and I love working with Cheeseburger. He is possibly my greatest tag team partner and greatest opponent at the same time. So wrestling him for the Great American Trash was awesome, and we just had so many different ideas and we were so happy to use all of them. And it also happened to be his birthday, so it was everything was just perfect. Everything was just perfect. Yeah, that was one of our favorite spots. I was like, because I think before it was like I was gonna feed him a burger and he was gonna feed me a hot dog, but then like he was like, "How about we switch it?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, let's do that." And then like you could see my face expression, like me eating a burger, I'm like, "What the hell is going on here?" And then we knocked each other out. Because it's that's the biggest debate, right? Of Fourth of July. What's the greatest food? It's like, is it hot dog or cheeseburger? And I'm so fortunate to have that match happen. And then the next year after that, I got to tag with him. Um, it was me, cheeseburger against Luigi Primo and Santa Chiva. So it's still a food fight. Everything's a food fight. Um, and I'm just so grateful, so happy to have all this happen. This year at Great American Trash, I was not prepared at all. I didn't bring any of my any of my weaponry that I usually bring. I usually have like nunchucks and baking sheets and all that. I didn't have any of it because I was just like everything was happening all at once. Like I just had this baby, and it's like, oh man, like I can't focus on this, and this. So I was kind of unprepared. But we worked with what we had, and it was actually a really good match too. It was my first time working with Luigi Primo, and this man put marinara sauce in my hair, and I was like frustrated. I was so upset. But watching the match back, I was like, I can't be so mad. This match is good. Uh, but yeah. Also, I am bun defeated at the Great American Trash. That means I've not been pinned, submitted. I've not lost. The Bundertaker has also made an appearance at the Great American Trash, and I'm so thankful for Casanova Valentine for like making having the Bundertaker be a part of the Great American Trash because promoters are so weird, especially like when it comes to booking me per se. Like they don't know how to book me, and I think Cass has done it like the greatest so far. Where he's like, let's do a build up of like the Undertaker, and I was like, okay, that's perfect. Let's figure it out. So he had like a whole media conference, and he got like Zach Amico, who's like my Paul Bearer. We call him Ball Parker. He got him booked, and I love Zach so much because he's like one of the greatest comedians right now. Um, his promo work is great. So when he cuts a promo, I'm just like kind of taking it back, like, yeah, what he said. But it was like a real cool experience to have Zach and Miko there in my corner doing a press conference with him, and being the Bundertaker. I don't like speaking so much as Bundertaker, but we made it work. It was perfect.
Yeah, for those people that don't, I've seen Luigi wrestle in Texas. So for people that don't know who Luigi Promo is, he's been on AEW like a couple of times. He wrestles, he makes pizzas. And he actually, you mentioned part of the marinara sauce. He slapped you with the pizza. Like he rolls the pizza and he slapped you with the face.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah, I owe him one for that one. Yeah, he has Marinara Death Kill, so his own version of MDK, which is like really cool. Props to the commentary team on that one.
Yeah, and then wasn't there like skewers or like a roller, the pizza roller?
Yeah,
He was
yeah,
stabbing
yeah.
you with it too.
So, man, he's insane. Um, to this day, I'm gonna say that he's crazy. He's one of the most craziest people I've ever wrestled. Um, he had a kendo stick. He had a kendo stick. He had the what's it called? The roller. What is it
Like
called?
a dough roller. I
There we
guess
go.
that's
Yeah, he
yeah.
had that. He had both of that, and like he was like a I don't know, man, like a Jedi with these things, man. Like he just had both of them. Then like he's like flipping pizza dough with the thing. Like I don't know how he does it. He's ambidextrous. I don't know how he does it, but he did it. He did like a super punch with the dough, punched me. Then he's like started beating me and Burger up with the kendo stick. He's good. He's really good actually.
Yeah, that looked pretty brutal. And then the match with Cheeseburger, you went through some, or he went through tax. Somebody went through some tax on the table.
Burger's
So
also crazy.
what was it like? There's no ring, there's no ropes, no turnbuckles. Like, what was it? Hitting. I guess it was AstroTurf it was something green for sure.
Yeah, it's like a little turf. Like
Yeah.
I wrestled there before it had like a little turf on it, so it was more hard and way more dirty. But the thing with Burger, he was like, "All right, I want to go do some tax. It's my birthday. I want to go do some tax." I said, "Well, you're gonna be a solo man on that one." And he was like, "For real? You want to do tax?" I was like, "No, I don't want to do tax, man." Like, so he was like, "We got to figure out a way," because he wanted us to both go to the table. And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not doing tax." And he was like, "All right, man, I'm doing tax myself." All right, cool, man. So he's like, "How you want to put me through the table?" I said, "Choke slam." But I was surprised, very surprised that this man brought tax to this fight. I was not expecting that. I but I knew we were gonna have a bunch of food, so we kind of played on each other. Hey, he brung hot dog and he brung cheeseburgers. I was like, all right, cool. So we put hot dogs first, and then I hit him, and then I put cheeseburgers. Then he hit me, and then he put tax, and then like we're doing like this back and forth. Who's going to this table? And he ended up going through it, and it was the end of the match. But insane, insane. There was no way I was doing tax. Not that day. I was going through so much mentally that day where I was like, I'm not trying to go all the way back home to New Jersey at that point where I was living at to remove these tax on my back. I'm good on that. But props to Burger. He did it. He did it for me.
It didn't seem like he was too busted up. Like, you'll see all the different pinholes and stuff. It looked like he just had like a stream of blood. I think that was it. Like,
Yeah.
it didn't really affect him that bad. So he did pretty well.
Well, he had a lot of buns there. He had like hot
Yeah.
dog buns. Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
four
good.
or five McDonald's burgers you were throwing out
Yeah.
on the table. He had a good cushion.
Yeah, he was fine. He was good.
Yeah, he was all right. Yeah, so you mentioned another funny one about food that you've had a match that cracked me up when I was looking at it. So the Undertaker, you've wrestled as the Bundertaker because the Undertaker is another one of your favorites. You had a match with somebody named Pancake, and you wrestled as the Brothers of Digestion. Just the name cracks me up.
Yeah, I didn't make that name up, but someone else gave me that name. But I was like, he was Pan Kane, and like this is so cool because like Kane right now has so many different parodies. So you have like Blue Kane, or now you have Blue Kane, now you have Gain, which is like the gay version of the of Kane, which is it's so cool. I love the character. And before all that, we had Pan Kane. Um, I'm very sad that Pancake didn't last longer than it. But I was very happy to work with Pancake. Pancake is one of Cheeseburger students, and I was his first match ever. So he got a glimpse of the Undertaker, but we got to tag with me as well. I think there's like a repeated history here. Like my greatest rivals, I'm ended up being tag team with. Next one, I guess, is Megabyte Ronnie, right? But yeah, wrestling with him was cool. I was like, hey, whatever you do, make it big because you're 6'7". You're 325 pounds. You're Kane now. You're Kane. So I'm like, I need you to believe that you're Kane. Don't move like a cruiserweight anymore. You're Kane now. So you don't have to sell anything anymore. You could choke slam people. You could tombstone people. And I think his eyes lit up because he was like, this is new to him. But I was like, this is what I always wanted to do. I'm only 5'7". I'm only 215 pounds. I was like, I want to be a big man. I always wanted to be 6'5" and 240 pounds. But hey, I'm vertically challenged and I'm a little overweight. But that's besides the point. But who's to say I can't do these things on the indies? Who's to say I can't do these things in professional wrestling? I watched Eugene do it. Eugene did it, right? Like he was everybody all at once. He was Stone Cold, he was The Rock, he was Hulk Hogan. Why can't I do it? So no one ever stopped me. I'm gonna do it. And I love being the Undertaker. I actually could do a little bit more in ring work than Hotdog Starkes. Um, and it's just to show off. I can show off whatever I want to do. I get to tombstone people. I get to choke slam people. What's not fun about that?
Yeah, a lot of people get mad. They're like, "Oh, they used his move," but no, it's like it's flattery. You grew up watching these people. You want to use their moves, and you're a wrestler too. Why not?
Yeah,
It's a tribute.
exactly, exactly. You get it.
Yeah. So, Kane comes out and had the whole fire thing. Would Pancake come out with like syrup?
Yeah, that'd be a sticky situation, but I would guess I would hope so.
Hey,
Just
Jay Uso likes to go to the Waffle House. Maybe Pancake will go to IHOP.
I like that. I
Or
like that.
sponsored by IHOP, something like that.
Sponsored by IHOP. I like that. I like that. I think
There
one of
you
my
go.
dreams is to wrestle in front of a Waffle House. I think that'd be awesome. I wrestled in front of a Popeyes in the hood, like, like
Wow.
yeah, for Wrestle Pro, we had like this show in Newark, and like it was a paid show. The mayor like wanted this to happen, and for some reason, there's a Popeyes right behind the wrestling ring. I'm on board with that. That's cool with me. But again, we were in like the hood. I mean, New York is part of the hood, right? But like, we were in the hood, and I was like, these are my people now. Like, and it was funny because like the people saw me and they were just like, this guy is kind of we don't like this guy. Like they just was judging me. They didn't even see me wrestle yet. They were just judging me. I got in that ring. I got my little pyro in. I started working, and I got the hot dog chance. I was like, now we rolling. Now we rolling. Everybody like, hot dog. Can you sign it? Yeah, no problem. I got you. You were just calling me a name just a couple seconds ago, but that's cool. I forgive you. But
Yeah.
yeah, that'd
Don't
be my
don't
dream.
pretend like you weren't doing that. I saw you, because yeah,
Yeah,
wrestlers do see everything. Like they're wrestling too, but then they see people in the crowd, and they have their eyes and ears on what's going on too.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Being from Louisiana, you wrestled out of Popeyes. I love Popeyes.
Mm.
It's awesome. So another name that cracked me up that you wrestled, his name is actually Delightful Dan, the Goddamn Candyman.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Uh, I wrestled him as Bun Nasty, right? And the only reason why Bun Nasty was a character, I had this feud with Megabyte Ronnie at Pro Wrestling Explosion, and Ronnie is also one of my greatest opponents. I've never wrestled Ronnie before, and it was the first time we ever wrestled, and we had a really good match, and we were just doing this ongoing feud where it was like a pick your poison match. So he picked my opponent. He picked Dan the goddamn Candyman. That's a mouthful. And I picked Abby Jane, and we both lost our matches. So being that we both lost our matches and we cost each other matches. We ended up doing a part two to that match, and came back as Undertaker. So, Pro Wrestling Explosion was definitely a platform for me to just start debuting different personas. Bun Nasty was just like I wasn't planning on wrestling as Bun Nasty. I kind of did this as a favor to like one of my students. I was like, "Hey, I'm debuting this new character. I'm gonna kind of show you how like to work with like to do character work in this wrestling match." And I was like, "Hey, like, what did you think of this?" And he's like, "You actually did a really good job." I was like, "Thank you, I appreciate that." But Bun Nasty and Dan the goddamn Candyman. Part of me wished I did the hot dog gimmick, but I just had a point to prove as Bun Nasty where I wanted to kind of just show off a little bit. I will not wrestle as Bun Nasty ever again, just because like I know if I ever need a talker, if I never need to cut a promo, I can go to Bun Nasty. I can be Bun Nasty. Whereas Hotdog Starkes, that's more of like a, hey, that's something you promote. That's something that's like my brand ambassador, right? And I'll also wrestle as like Hot Dog. That's like my comedy stick. Undertaker is my more serious role. But yeah, I don't think I would wrestle with Bun Nasty again. But facing Dan the goddamn Candyman was kind of fun. I just wish I was Hot Dog because we could have way more fun than what we had in the ring. Because I would have did way more sillier stuff. Like I wanted to do something where he just stuffed candy in my mouth and then super kicked me or something, but we just never got it done. But yeah, wrestling him, I was like praying that none of his like candy got into my fur coat because that would have been really bad. Uh, but overall, I think we had a pretty okay match. I would love to wrestle him again. Maybe somewhere down the line, we'll figure it out.
Maybe Bun Nasty could be like your demon from Finn Balor. Like he comes out once every so like on special occasions.
Well, that's why I have the Undertaker. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
that's how
that's true.
yeah. The Undertaker would be like my demon character.
Yeah, that's true. So another name that cracked me up on the food kick is you wrestled somebody named King Crab.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, this is around COVID time. So this is like I'm wrestling at Camp Leapfrog, and I didn't. We both were trying to do something different than what we were already used to doing, and we just put that pressure on each other. So if you notice, I'm having a match that I don't have normally. We are going back and forth. I'm pulling out all these different moves that I've never done before. Like a Muchinoku driver, a sky high. I'm doing all these moves that I've never done before. We're going back and forth with these moves. I did a second rope, a belly to belly. I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I had just unbunned myself. I had literally just did a promo where I unbunned and I wanted to try to wrestle not with the costume anymore. And it was such a weird period for me. Um, Now I figured it out. Now I know how to like wrestle without it on and figure that out. But man, I was tired after that. I was blown up after that match. I a little TMI. I threw up after that match because I did way too much. We had like maybe a 10-minute match or maybe 11. I don't know how long it was. Um, I hurt my shoulder. That was just the match I hurt my shoulder in, and I threw up in that match. And I found out I had a pinched nerve in my shoulder going up to my neck, and I was like, "Damn!" Just because I just did above and beyond what I usually do in pro wrestling, and yeah, match was cool. It's fun and all, but man, I was tired. I was blown up.
You didn't eat hot dogs before the match, did you?
No, no, no.
Okay, good.
I ate a shit ton of pizza afterwards though.
Oh, yeah. So, in that match, did the Boston Crab had to be involved, right? I mean, it's King Crab. Got to put that in there somewhere.
You got to talk to him about that. He didn't put any Boston crabs in
He
that match.
didn't. Oh,
No, no,
if
he
we
didn't put
ever have
no
him on the
Boston
show,
crabs.
I'm have to tell him that. Come on, man,
You
it's
got it.
right there.
It literally was right there.
It
He
was right
didn't.
there.
Yep. He didn't capitalize on that.
Shame. That's a shame. So another guy who I'm actually going to see this Sunday, he'll be at Wildcat in New Orleans. Savage Gentleman. That's another opponent that you faced. So I brought him up because I'll be actually get to see him for the first time in New Orleans this Sunday. So what was it like wrestling him?
So this is I don't want to say crazy story, but everything kind of happened for a reason. I was not booked for that show. It was a WrestlePro show. This happened December 28th. The only reason why I remember that this date it happened that date was because I was like thinking to myself, we're literally on the verge of having this baby, at that point, and I was like, man, I really want to wrestle, like I really want to wrestle before the year's over, and I hadn't wrestled in like months at that point. Um, and I don't know if the wrestling gods heard me, or whatever the case may be, but Kevin Matthews texted me. He's like, "Hey, are you free this day?" Yes, I am. I am free. I am free. What do you need me for? And he got me against Savage Gentleman. Now, usually these type of shows I would go over and whatnot, but he had went over on this one, and it was cool. Wrestling him was almost a bit of a headache just because he's a bit younger in the game than I am. I'm very set in my like I'm mostly set in my ways of like how I want matches to go. When it came to him, he had a bunch of ideas on how to like kill me, and I just was like, "Hey, you're doing too much. Just realize who you're wrestling. You're wrestling a hot dog. You don't need too much to kill a hot dog. I'm just saying." And then the match was what it was, and it was cool. We wrestled, and then afterwards, I got like the thankful hot dog chance, like, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like, this is perfect. This is the perfect scenario where I get to right off in the sunset, right? And I get to, embark on this new journey I'm about to have. And January 1st, what happened? My son was born, and it was like, okay, this, So that wasn't, that was my last match of 2023, and that was actually pretty cool. I'm actually happy that match happened because I was praying for a match, and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna happen, and it ended up happening. Um, he's in really good shape. He's like top tier shape. I think he has done some type of like kickboxing before, because he hits really hard. Not like so hard where it's like I don't want to work with the guy, but it's like hard to a point where it's like, all right, I see you got some history, you got some background history on that. Um, but really, really cool, solid dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him for the first time in person. And his wife is Lady Frost, and she's been on AEW and Ring of Honor, and she's really cool too. So it's awesome, like that they're husband and wife and they wrestle. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my fiance to get in the wrestling business. I've been trying for like the past 7 years. I've been trying, because she's my fiance is very smart, right? And she understands psychology, so she understands the psychology of wrestling. So like, yeah, when I do moves and stuff on her, or I like try to do moves on her, she has her own little move set. Like she has headbutted me. She has given me a discus headbutt. Uh, I'm just like, what is going on? So she understands it, but I don't know if she'll ever get in the ring. But one could only hope and pray that she will.
Maybe so, and y'all can get involved to get have a match together or tag team or against each other, or
Oh,
she could be your manager.
I told her
A lot
if
of
she ever
options.
got into wrestling, I will not wrestle. I would just be on the sidelines. I would pitch nothing but ideas. I would produce her matches. I would do whatever I gotta do to make sure she's like top tier and no one can mess with her. I don't want to overshine anyone. I ain't trying to take no spotlight away from her. Hey, if we're on the road together, that's awesome. But I already know like her booking is gonna be up there. She's gonna have fans. She's gonna have 8x10s. We're gonna have everything figured out. And the same thing for my son, like he has a gimmick for life if he chooses to pursue wrestling, and if he chooses to like take on the hot dog manual, right? Like if he wants to do that, he has a gimmick for life. The story would write itself. He's like, oh, I'm the son of hot dog, and like, I come out with Frankie, right? Like I always say Frankie is my son. Frankie is a stuffed plush hot dog. So who's to say that Frankie didn't grow up to be my son, like my actual real son? And he's like, yeah, I was Frankie, and then like he has a new persona, and whatever the case may be, he has a gimmick for life. He has merch for life if he chooses that path. But I would love it.
Your son could be the little cocktail dogs, like the smaller version. That would be funny. So, you're on dad leave and everything. Do you have any upcoming shows soon, or it is just dad, work, school?
I have. I'm waiting to hear back from some people for Fest Wrestling, which is all the way in Gainesville, Florida. I'm there pretty much every year. It's fan favorite. I love wrestling for Fest. Last year it wasn't so great because they put me in a different match. I'm usually into like this battle royal, this giant family battle royal, and I love it. But they put me in a tag team match last year. The promoter, I'm waiting to hear back from him, so we'll see what happens. I have something in April, which is way, way far out there in West Virginia. Nothing substantial, like, hey, if they come, they come. If they don't, I'm okay with that. Like I have a million and one things they have to deal with here, but if someone wants to book me, I'm not against it. Um, I just wrestled for We Are Wrestling couple weeks ago. That was fun. That was my debut there. I know they have a show coming up in November. I'm looking at that one, see if I can get on that one. Because they promote shows like 20 minutes away from me, so it only would make sense to book the hot dog for We Are Wrestling. But outside of that, yeah, I ain't got nothing planned. I ain't got nothing to do. Hey, I'm on your podcast. You know what I mean? So I'm chilling. I'm chilling right now.
Yeah, got some more exposure there being on the podcast again. Well, before I turn it over to Rob for his turn, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show again. It was nice to catch up and everything, and you made me catch up. Haha.
I was like, oh, I see. I was like, I see what you did there. You smart. You smart.
And it's been nice catching up with you, and you made me hungry going through all these names with all your opponents and everything. And I loved your gimmick, always did since our first interview and the whole hot dog thing, hot dog gimmick. I wish you continued success. Congratulations on fatherhood, and hopefully we'll get another podcast down the future, see how the baby's doing and what life's taking you on a trip. Whenever that'll happen again. And congrats on going to school, and you probably finish school by the time we get another interview, and there'll be a lot more to talk about.
Yeah. And thank you guys so much for the invite. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, Rob, take it away.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Kathy. So what's going on, man? How you doing? How's everything going today?
Everything's pretty good so far. Everything's pretty good. My son's sleeping, thank God, because he loves being fussy for some reason. But he's fed, he's sleeping, he's chilling.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, because at that age or whatever, man. Yeah, yeah. You just gotta worry about them being fussy, and then diapers. Sometimes they have those blowouts. You know what I mean? You just be like, oh my god, how can so much come out of somebody so little? Like, oh my god, this is like a grown human. Like, oh man, like a grown
Yep,
adult. What are you doing?
yep. I had to tag out a few times because of them blowouts. I tell you that much.
That's right. That's right. You're like, you'll be over there. It's like, man, this smells like tar and burnt rubber. Like, what are we feeding you? Oh,
Hmm. Hmm.
that's right. That's right. So, man, I gotta ask, when do you think you can come back to one CW, man? I know everybody there misses you, man. The fans miss you. You know, what I mean, I've had people be like, ask me like, man, when do you think Hot Dog's coming back, man? I'm like, I don't know, man. Hopefully soon. Hopefully he's coming back soon, man.
Man, I love one CW. I really love one CW. I would love to come back. I texted Sean on his birthday, and he said he would love to have me back. And I think we're just trying to figure things out. We're trying to figure out how we can get this to happen and figure out scheduling and whatnot. I don't have a car, right? Like I would have to either someone drive me down there or I fly down there. I don't know, but I don't have a car.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's kind of been like the challenge on like how to get down there. Because before I had GKM. GKM would be my ride down there, and I don't even know if he's down there anymore. Wrestling for one CW, but yeah, definitely would love to come back. I had a blast there. Funny enough, I had ran into man, the people they had backstage are just incredible. But before he passed, Jay Briscoe was backstage,
yeah.
and I got to meet Jay Briscoe, and that was really cool, really, really, really cool. Um, but yeah, I would love to go back whenever we get this thing sorted. I would love to come back.
That's right. I remember that show too, man. 'Cause, yeah, I got to meet him there too, man. I didn't get to, chat and all that. I was going, hey, how you doing, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, thank you for me, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little quick thing. I think I was ring announcing that day. That's probably why I couldn't, be back there and stuff, man.
Okay.
But yeah, I do have a funny ring announcing story about you, man. Like, I think it was like my first, second time ring announcing, like, or whatever, right? So I'm going around, getting, with the cars, I'm like, hey, what do I need? What do I need? What do I need? I was talking to you, you're giving me your stuff, from here. I was looking for my thing. I can't find it. I misplaced it, or I was going to bust that with, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, Hotdog Starkes. I'm like, all right, all right. Somebody behind me was like, hot dogs suck, right? So I'm like, hot dogs suck. You're like, what? Hey, man, don't you be messing with mine now. I'll kick your ass. And I was like, hey, no, 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 no. Somebody, it was probably like Miles or Killian or something, just messing
Okay,
around,
probably.
yeah, I went out there, I did it right, man. I remember going back there, I was like, I got you, man. You ain't got to kick my ass, man. I was sweating. I was like, oh,
Oh
man.
shit.
I'll be like it,
My
man.
bad. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. I'm just teasing you, man. I'm teasing you. It was just a funny story, man. It's funny, man. But
So it's
yeah,
all fun
speaking
and
of
games
Killian,
with
man,
you about
have you
hot
gotten to
dogs,
have a
man.
rematch with Killian? Because I see it, that match, man. He's spraying ketchup in your eyes and all that
No.
stuff, man. Yeah, yeah. That should be the match. If you come back to one CW, man, you and Killian.
Yeah, so my goal when I got to 1CW, my first match was against Miles Millennium, right?
Mm,
So I was like, all right, I got Miles down, and my next one I wanted Killian. I faced Killian, obviously at Great American Trash as Undertaker, but I wanted to face him at 1CW just so I can like go down that whole list of goons.
yeah.
Because on Twitter, like we have like some type of like we're all cool on Twitter, right? Like I am an honorary goon, right? I'm an honorary goon on Twitter. So I've always been a goon. So it was funny that I was having that match with Miles, and it was also funny that I had that match with Killian. But I think if we wrestled at 1CW, that would be a thing to see. That would be really funny. Killian has some really crazy facial expressions,
Mhm.
and he could wrestle funny, but he could wrestle good as well. So that would be something I'd be excited for.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Killian's a good dude, man. I like Killian. I like whenever he comes down there working with him, man. He was down there. I think he wasn't wrestling, but I think he rode down there with Nelson Bauer. I think it was a couple months ago for a 1CW show. He rode down there, and I got to hang out. We were chilling and hanging out, man. So it was pretty cool, man. So I got to ask you, what I mean, since you've been, going around and stuff, man. Like, where's the farthest you've traveled, since you've been here, man? Have you gotten, down? Like you said, you've been to Florida, about, once a year or something, man. Have you gotten, go over to Canada? Have you made it out kind of toward the
Oh
West Coast a
man!
little bit? Have you gotten out there
Now,
anywhere?
if y'all can make that happen, then I'll go. 100%. I will go. I want to go to Vegas, just
Mm,
because there is a hot dog land in Vegas. So just like getting a photo in front of hot dog land, I would
mhm,
love that. I would absolutely love that. There's also like I think there's Grab House. I think it's called Grab House Wrestling is in Las Vegas. I would love to wrestle for them. I think what's his name? Jody. Jody the wrestler is the promoter and or booker down there. I would love to be in Vegas, but I haven't traveled anywhere past Florida yet. You know, I've
okay.
I've stayed solely on the east side, and not because I wanted to. It's just more of like, hey, like I don't know what's on the west side right now. I don't know everything that's happening in Central America or Western. I don't know. I don't know what's up there in Canada. I don't know what's down south. I don't know what's in Mexico. I would love to travel to all these places, and I wish I've traveled to all these places. And there's still time, but
Mhm.
it's more of like, all right, who wants the hot dog? Who wants to book the hot dog? And I don't know if I'm doing a good enough job in terms of like promoting myself, but I would love to be in those areas just to wrestle, just to say I wrestled there. I wrestled in another country. Like my friends are traveling all the time. I'm like, man, like I want to go to Canada. I want to go to London. I want to go to Mexico. I haven't been.
Mhm. That's right. That's right. Yeah, man. I heard them places are all right. I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man. Get the hot dog out there. To get the desert dog. I mean, all that good stuff, man. Vegas dog. I'm all for that, man. I'm all for that, man. Hopefully that'll happen. But like you're saying, you've been down there to Florida, and do you have any crazy, traveling stories being down there in Florida? Because like I literally seen online today. I don't know how factual this is, but somebody took a picture like big or a video of Bigfoot just lounging in the trees, just hanging out. Like he was just like it wasn't like one of those Jack Leak beef jerky commercials. It
Yeah,
wasn't one of them messing with Sasquatch. It was like somebody had it. The Sasquatch was just chilling. Oh man. So have you ever come across something like that? Down there in Florida. Gators or something. 'Cause I know they got them prehistoric animals down there, man.
I have a story. It's an animal story. I don't know if I can't really think of too many crazy road trips right now, but I have one road trip that I did have. It was in Jersey. So
Mhm.
it was me, my fiance, and do you guys know Officer Ronald Moses from Security Inc?
No, I don't think so. Maybe if I seen them, but
Okay, yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he drove us to apartment viewing because we were looking for an apartment. We're trying to find a spot to live, and but we had a show. We had a show later on that day, somewhere in like Nassau County, New York, or something like that. We were wrestling
Mhm.
for damn, what was it? ACW, American Coliseum Wrestling. So we're driving through Leona, New Jersey, and I spot this big ass bear.
Mm.
And I was like, is that a bear? So he
Mhm.
he almost crashes the car. But I was just shocked because I lived at that point. I lived in Lodi, and Lodi and Leona are not too far from each other. So it was like, there's a bear in our community. There's a bear, and it wasn't like we're on a highway or anything like that. We were like in like areas where there's people around. Like this thing jumped a barricade or something. It was about to attack somebody. So I don't know what happened with that bear scenario. All I know is we got out of there pretty
That's
fast.
right. I don't blame you, man. I ain't trying to mess with no bear. You know what I mean? I like to see them, if I'm at the zoo or behind a cage or glass thing, I'm good, Yeah, I ain't trying to mess with them. I remember one time, because I live out in the country and stuff. I was walking my dogs one time, and a possum scared me because we were walking. We got over by the woods, and my dogs, they kind of smell something. And I'm like, "What are you doing? There ain't nothing over there." And all of a, I hear, like that. I'm like, "Nope, come on, nope, nope, nope. We're going. I don't care what that was. It could have been, like something crazy to kill me. You know what I mean? No, I'm good. I ain't messing with that." So I gotta ask, young kids, yeah, the younger generation, they always come up with slang and stuff, man. When did hot dogs become glizzies? Because like one day, I swear I was, I was watching like YouTube and all, and like some people come up with like food reviews and all, like, oh man, I got these glizzies and all this. I'm like, what are you talking about? What is a glizzy? What I mean? I had to look it up. You know what I mean? I'm in my 40s. I'm not cool or anything anymore. I don't know any slang or any of that stuff, so I had to look it up, man. But yeah, when did that
So
come up? It was
I'm trying to think. So I think it was like somewhere between
like,
2019 and 2021, somewhere around that time. Because I used for a small brief period of time King Glizzy as a moniker. And I was like, all right, I was like, hey, if it's a new slang, it's about hot dogs, I'm going to capitalize on it. So I was King Lizzy. I had people announce me as leader of the Glizzy gang. Um, yeah, I didn't, man, slang. I'm
yeah.
I'm pretty I'm pretty old in the game too. I don't really understand half the things that come out of these kids' mouths. Like, what the hell is a skibbity, right? But
Yeah, I don't
uh,
know. Skibbity toilet. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, we figured it out as we go. But I would
That's
say
right.
around that time, between anywhere between 2019 and 2021.
That's right. Yeah, I'm like that too, man. Because like workhorse and all, we'll train like the young guys, younger wrestlers coming up. They're like, 18, 19, 20, 21 stuff, and I'm literally like as old or just around the age of their parents and stuff. You know what I mean? So like like I heard the phrase, called a lick. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh well, I mean, maybe you got beat up. You know what I mean? Because you get your
Hmm.
licks in and stuff. No, no, it wasn't that. Clapping cheeks. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, yeah, I thought that was like because like those songs, quit your yapping before I gets to clapping. You know what I mean? Or thought I
Uh,
was shooting guns and I was totally off base. You know what I mean? Like yeah, all this stuff, man. I'm like, it's like man.
wow.
So I do got to ask about, 'cause you're talking about, you got a show in April, man. That's against JB Anderson. And
Okay, yeah,
I've
yeah,
refed a few matches with him and and all this stuff, man. That guy is, he's pretty brutal, man. Like,
yeah. Tell me what I'm into because tell me I'm going into this man. I don't even know who this person is. I haven't watched any of their stuff yet. Who? Tell me about this person.
oh, man, he's one of those, pretty hardcore people. You know what I mean? He likes to bleed and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I try not to, I try not to get close with him too much, if I'm refing his matches, man. 'Cause, you know what I mean? He's always like, oh, man, it's sharp things. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, this these they hit me up about they're like, have I ever wrestled a death match? I was like, no, I've never wrestled. I've wrestled like hardcore matches, and my
Hmm.
version of death matches. This is not so gruesome, right? Like, I
Yeah,
can assure you, and I'll put this out there. I will never ever do that. Like, whatever they do, glass breaking, all the thumbs at. I do the PG-13 version of what they do,
that's
right?
right.
But you're not gonna see me bleed, right? And if I
Hmm.
do bleed, it's gonna be mustard. I bleed mustard,
Yeah,
but you will not see me get busted open, cut open, anything hardcore like that. I'm very, very much afraid of blood. I get very squeamish. Um, as much as I would try to think, oh, this is ketchup, no, it's not. Like, it's straight up blood. I'm okay on that. But yeah, if he, I don't know if he intends on doing these things to me, then he would have another thing coming.
that's right. That's right, man. Yeah, when the Undertaker comes out, man, yeah, you ain't messing with that, man. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
That's right. So I gotta, before I, pass it on back to Remy, man, because I know it's getting a little late and all, man. You got your family time, you got to deal with the family, all that stuff, man. I gotta ask, are there any, new movies or TV shows, you're able to catch up on? I know you're a busy person, you got the young in and all that, man. But in between the time when it's the quiet time, is there anything you've been checking out or lately? 'Cause I'm always trying to find something new.
I've been kind of up to date with like almost everything. So I have to finish watching the last episode 4 of Agatha All Along.
Okay, yeah.
It's very interesting right now on where they're at. Especially, I got some new info and new intel on who a certain character is, and I'm excited to see what they do with this character going forward. Actually, two different characters. I just finished watching Penguin episode 2, which comes out every Sunday. What else is out there? I just finished watching The Circle. They had their season finale yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday is Wednesday, right? Yeah. So their season finale was yesterday, so I finished watching that. What else? What else is out there? I think that's it. Oh, and then like now Law and Order has a new episode that's I think I just missed. Law and
Okay.
Order has like their episodes out. I love Chicago Fire. I just finished watching their latest episode of season 13. Chicago Med's okay. I'm not too thrilled on Chicago Med or PD, but Chicago Fire, I definitely love it. But yeah, that's it. I don't really like watch. So I mean, that sounds like a lot of TV, right? But in terms of like movies, man, man, Better Man is gonna come out. That's like I want to see Better Man. That's like with that monkey they had. Like there's like a monkey doing a bunch of other stuff. I don't know what the base of the movie's about, but I'm gonna watch it. It looks very interesting. I don't know what other movies are coming out. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine just came out, and now it's gone to digital and Blu-ray. And that movie I watched like maybe 3 times already. But that movie was great. It was great. My excitement levels were off the chart seeing those cameos. But yeah, I don't know what else. What else is coming out? I'm looking forward to Secret Wars and whenever that comes out, and Avengers Doomsday. I'm excited for both those movies when they come out, but we got a ways to go.
That's right. Yeah, I've been watching Agatha all along. I saw the first 2 episodes. I was like waiting. I was like, well, I don't want to watch. I want to watch like 2 in a row, man. Because like if I watch one, I'm like, I need to watch the next one, just one more. You know what I mean? I know how I am, so I'm like, I usually wait for yeah, because it comes out Wednesday. Yeah, because I usually
Mhm.
try to wait till about 2 or 3. So I'm like good to go. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm good for the next week. So I like that show so far. You know what I mean? Like they're going down traveling and stuff, man. Not good. October, getting ready for the spooky season and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, actually, I did see Scream 3 the other day, and Jay and Silent Bob made a cameo in that movie.
Oh,
So
really?
I gotta wonder, do you think in the Scream universe, as Jay and Silent Bob were in there, that Alanis Morissette is like God and Jesus and all this stuff, and they got
Yeah.
demons and all that stuff, man? Yeah, I like to think that, But anyway, man, I gotta say, I want to say thank you very much, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come chat with us, man. It was a blast. It's good to talk to you again. See, you're kicking butt in life. You're doing your thing, man. I wish you nothing but the positive things for you and your family and all that good stuff. I hope you get to go to Vegas one day and kick some butt there and all that good stuff, man.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. All right, Remy.
Hotdog Starkes, it was glad to have you back on. We always welcome back guests and everything. Great to see that you're doing well. And once again, congrats on, the baby and everything. Congrats on getting your on getting your degree and everything. We look forward to seeing great things from you, and keep up the great work that you're doing with the wrestling and the gear designing and everything. Not a lot of wrestlers can say they do that. They can actually that they're actually in the game as a wrestler, but they can also get design their gear. Not a lot of wrestlers can say that, but that's a talent you have there, and just keep at it, man. Before we shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they
You
want to
can
find out latest
find
appearances, purchase, Hot Dog Stars merchandise, and where can bookers and
oh,
promoters find you when they want to, book you for their shows, or where can wrestlers find you when they want to get some gear designed?
all right. You can find your boy at the following socials. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at and TikTok. I'm on TikTok, guys. Uh, and TikTok at Hotdog Starkes. That's all in one word. So HOTDOGSTARKES. You can book your boy on Cameo at cameo.com/hotdogstarks. You can buy my merch at prowrestlingtees.com/hotdogstarks. What else? If you want to book me for a wrestling show or for a bar mitzvah or a birthday party or anything like that, you need a professional hot dog, you can go to my email at bookthehotdog at gmail.com.
Hey, Kathy, aren't you the monarch of Mardi Gras? How about you guys book Hotdog Starkes from all the floats? I mean, come on, I'm sure he'd be good for Bourbon Street.
I love Bourbon Street. I
Yeah,
love it.
maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, y'all make sure y'all follow this man. Hardworking man, very talented. Make sure you go ahead and, if you're a fan, go ahead and cop out the go ahead and, cop the merch from Pro Wrestling Tees, and that way when he gets signed to AEW, WWE, and somebody's like, yo, I just got the new hot dog tees, the hot dog Stark shirt from AEW shop or Shop WB or whatever they call their merch stores. I haven't bought shirts from them in a while. You could be like, oh yeah, well I got the shirt when he just started out on the indies, so definitely support indie wrestling. That's the bit. That's another way you can support your favorite wrestler if you can't make the shows. Is purchasing the merch you have as well. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. Oh, and also one more thing, for pro wrestlers out there, for those y'all watching, if you know you're not good at designing gear, if you know that you're a stick figure person, you could draw me a stick figure, and that's not what you want on your gear. This man is it right here. Definitely give that man a follow. But with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. It's actually almost 3 a.m. here in Amsterdam. I
Damn.
mean, and my eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is not rumbling, thankfully. But I mean, it's time for a nap. But before I partake in that activity, Kathy Knight, the money penny to my James Bond, and the Pepper to my Tony Stark. Where can fans find on social media when they want to talk wrestling, all things Becky Lynch Page, and great eating in Louisiana?
So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Discord, all at BLUE70517. And if you're in the New Orleans area and you're going to Wildcat, you'll see me there too on Sunday. So come say hi.
Awesome. Shout out to oh no, that's not Brittany's.
No, it's Luke Hawks.
Luke Hawks. Okay, yeah, that's and Savage Gentleman is fighting Perry Hawks first. I
Yeah.
can't even say best luck to Perry because Perry is actually an amateur wrestler. He has a background in that. That'll be interesting. But yes, definitely
Yeah.
check out Wildcat. It's great promotion. Rob Bass, the Sean Spence to my Burton Guster, and the Riggs to my Murtaugh. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out when next appearances, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Rob_base82, Facebook, Rob Base. And next weekend, 1CW, we have our October show going on in Houston, Delaware. We have championships on the line. We have a casket match on the line. We have Tim Tabor versus BT Windsor, and I believe it is the first ever casket match in 1CW history. So definitely come on out there. These casket matches don't come up very often. I mean, the last time I've actually watched a casket match in person was when Undertaker fought Diesel back at Caesar Rodney High, and that was last century. You know what I mean? That was in the 20th century. We're in the 21st century now. So, yeah, man, definitely come on out for the casket match. You can catch 1CW and all that on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. We got all of our episodes, from episode 1 till now. You can check us out on YouTube, all that good stuff, man. We got all the matches on there. You can see our guests. Hotdog Starts on there on a few episodes and stuff. So definitely check that out. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, all that good stuff, man. Check them out.
I can tell y'all right now, make sure if you want to see CW is in your area, check them out. They do a lot of great work. Funny because I'm actually rocking a shirt from them too. But definitely make sure you check out 1CW. They do a lot of great work down there. I was there for WrestleMania week, and I was very impressed by how they do things there. And you will not waste your time. So definitely check out 1CW. If you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a lot of cool places. Like I'm in Amsterdam right now. Come on. But you can definitely find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at the Remy Blue. Actually, I just posted a video of me at Amsterdam Central. It's a nice little waterfront. You can find all that on those social media links. I'm also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. Our podcast is on social media as well. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. And last but not least, we're also on Spotify, and we're still working on setting back up our Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merch. Last but not least, we also have a YouTube channel where you can actually see cool interviews like this one, like the one we recently had with the Ice King, Jack Ledger, and also his brother Bobby Power Brennan. You could find all those great interviews and many other interviews with many great men and women in professional wrestling. You can find all those interviews on YouTube and to see them. It's not rocket science. It's not calculus. It's easy as one, two, three. Go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. Once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue yin yang sign with the blue flames around it, the one that Kathy is poking mercilessly, poor blue sign, that's when you know it's us. Make sure you subscribe to our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But with that being said, as a matter of fact, we're still deciding on what time we're going to do it because we're all in really different time zones. I'm over in Europe, Kathy's over in Louisiana, and Rob is over in Delaware. But we'll be having a bad blood. We'll try to have a bad blood predictions show for bad blood, which this weekend as well. But with that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. Really and truly appreciate it. You know, we strive on being one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to. And we're not going to stop doing that. To those of y'all that are going to listen later on and get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us and really can't stand us, I really wish we would just go away and stop what we're doing well, like myself at the Golden Corral, Rob Bass at a Taco Festival, and Kathy Knight at Cafe Du Monde for the buy one, get one free special. We're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
We ain't stopping. So with that being said, you know, we just want to let everybody know we're very well and aware. It's no secret. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hey, yo, Rob Bass, Kathy Knight, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for Hotdog Starkes, who is continuously winning at life and is going to keep on doing that.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
We're
We're the
the Wrestling
Wrestling
Fans
Fans
Podcast.
Podcast.
That's right. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we'll be back later on this week with another impressive episode. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Just 4. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and enjoy wrestling. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.
Good
Let the
night,
good
y'all.
times roll, Louis.